Hello everyone. It's 3:08 p.m. in the afternoon. Excuse me for yawning. Excuse me. I might as well go on the other side. But yesterday they had a perp that deprived me of my sleep or startled me out of my sleep, and I could not go back to sleep. So I had felt the sleep deprived and tired feeling like all the rest of the day yesterday, all evening, all night, and all morning. Well, in the middle of the night, it was like I think it was 3:36 or 3:38 in the morning. I went to sit down somewhere, and I was that tired, and it was raining off and on overnight. But, it didn't rain as hard as I thought it was. I thought it was going to be pouring and disaster or whatever, but it rained off and on throughout the night. And now today, I see a one headlight truck. I don't know if y'all able to see it, but this white truck over here trying to creep up. That thing has one headlight and arm out the window. But I can't expand my phone. See, so that's proof right there that arm out the window is a gang stalking tactic, because you couple it up with one headlight too, and other targets say the same thing. So as soon as I come outside, I've been out here not even 3 minutes, and they're already gang stalking and doing their Now, if I would have still been sitting inside the library and hadn't come out, would he be illegally fake driving by with one headlight and arm out the window? Excuse me. I wish I could have. When I have the phone facing me, I can't zoom in or expand the camera like I used to be able to on other phones. But if I had the phone flipped the other way, I would have been able to flip the. I would have been able to zoom in on the one headlight and arm out the window. I don't even think I can expand with my fingers. So they had a man that just got out of his truck, and then he just walked by and shook his head. So there's I don't know about Orleans Parish, but Jefferson Parish, there's at least 2 parks, that's nearby, the library. So it's like the Terrytown Library, they have the big park. It's a bigger park than this one. It's a big, huge park across the street from the library. And this library, it's like the park is connected to this library, But I'm not sure I don't remember, or I'm not sure the exact name of this park. So, yeah, so after my live stream, I kind of don't even remember what happened later last night, but thankfully, I don't think I don't think people were really bothering me last night like the night before, you know. But yeah, I don't think people were really bothering me like they did the night before. But when I was walking, you know, and I'm surprised last night. If I didn't have my big coat on, I probably would feel like I was cold or something like that. But it was as I said, it was raining off and on, but it wasn't that cold. But I thought it was gonna be like disaster and pouring rain and everything, you know. But I mean, as I said, it was raining off and on, and they were kind of playing Truman Show games with the rain. And yesterday, immediately after I got off the live stream, it started raining last night, you know. But it was kind of cold, but it wasn't like in the 30s or nothing. I don't know if it was like late, like I think it was the coldest it told me in the middle of the night or this morning was like 57 or 58 degrees, you know. But at one point, I almost felt with my big coat, I almost felt warm enough that I might have needed to take it off. But then with that temperature, you know, the other coat, the coat that the perps harassed me about was being mustard colored. There had been moments where it was like 65 degrees and I had this hoodie and that coat. And I would still feel like cold enough to where it bothered me. You know, I would feel like, you know, cold enough to where I couldn't function. But this bigger coat, you know, if I took it off, I would be too cold to not have it on. But then with it on, I was too warm. You know, that's what temperature was in the middle of the night, you know. But at one point, no, I think it was yesterday afternoon. It was like 60-something degrees outside, and I had my just my hoodie on, and I was filming and recording a video, and my hands started to almost freeze up and kind of lock up on me, and yet it was saying it was like 61 or 63 degrees or something. Excuse me, you know. But it's a nice warm day today, and like even like this morning I started to feel like, well, wow, it's almost warm enough to where people could probably go swimming today. But certain apps were telling me it was 74 degrees, and other apps were telling me it was 78 or even 79 degrees, you know. But they said it's gonna get down to like 51 degrees tomorrow morning, and then later it's supposed to be like 48 degrees or something. So back to like kind of freezing cold for me. But it's cloudy, but it's beautiful out here today. I mean, temperature-wise, it's really nice. But I heard that for the rest of this week and then next week, the weather is supposed to be not bad. You know, it's supposed to be nice. Nice enough that well, if it's 60 degrees at night, I'm going to need that big coat. But during the day, I'm going to have to just, you know, probably wear the hoodie. Or I might almost be warm enough to me and have to take the hoodie off. But, yeah, so, but, Well, I'm not gonna tell everything that happened between last night and this morning, but I tried to panhandle again. It is really hard, and people really are very mean. But because like I put out like videos and even community posts asking for help and got nothing, you know. But later on I had to live stream and I got $10 in the middle. Later last night, you know. But excuse me. But yeah. So they had a man that excuse me for yawning. They had when I was walking towards the bus stop, they had a man that was on Poydras Street, and I don't remember what the vehicle was. I just remember it being like a black SUV and a bigger one, and the license plate said 753 JPK, Louisiana license plate. It was a white man with glasses, and he was in the middle. He was in the middle lane, and when I crossed the street legally, he hurried up and swerved. Like he was in the middle lane, and then when the light turned green, he hurried up and crossed. Like he moved all the way from he was like at the light, the only one at the light, and then he as soon as I started crossing the street, he sped up and tried to swerve and try to run over and hit me with his vehicle on purpose. Unprovoked for nothing. Attempted murder. And then I wasn't filming and recording because of the rain, but I tried to give him the fingers, and then he stuck his middle fingers back up at me with vicious hate anger. Like when nobody's around, but they got those I guess red light cameras or whatever. Excuse me, but you're trying to take my life for nothing, unprovoked for nothing. You know, yeah, so but yeah. Whoa, this fly nearly succeeded at yeah, so excuse me. The first couple of buses, they had two buses back to back around 4 something in the morning, and I dozed off, and they had somebody that had a medical emergency, and they had a lot of police and ambulance and this and that, whatever. And they had a man that was some kind of official. I don't know if he was, what kind of police he was or whatever, but he woke me up when I was sitting somewhere. But he told me I wasn't in any trouble or nothing, but, he said he wanted to make sure I was all right. He was trying to flag down the buses, but I'm glad it didn't take very long for another bus to come. And thankfully on that bus, I was the only bus to ride across. I was the only person on the bus. I was the only passenger on the bus that, just rode by myself and got across the river. And thankfully, nobody really bothered me at the bus terminal this morning. And when I rode the bus this morning, it was a different route, Excuse me. I'm glad I didn't have as much of a disaster and upsetting moment as yesterday, but I was still, had a little bit frustrating moment on the bus. And then I went to go get something, breakfast or whatever, and and wow, if they have certain people that's abusive, narcissistic, hard, and mean, and you can't even have a conversation with them, they manipulate for me to feel afraid to talk to them, but oh, you're the cashier and I gotta do business with you or whatever, But the lady was like, before I left, I said, excuse me, I didn't remember, but they charged for a cup of water or whatever, even paying customers. And she said it would be 27 cents. And all I had, because earlier I had paid whatever cash I had plus on debit card, And then, like, the lady kind of had an attitude and was rude. Like, I had problems with her before, but she talked normal to everybody else, but she treated me like I'm a problem, But, for some reason, I could not eat all my food for breakfast this morning. And it's not like me to, let food go to waste, or, like, if I'm eating at a restaurant or whatever, I usually eat all my food, but for some reason, I could not eat all my food. I felt bad to have to let, like, half of the food, half of the plate of food to go to waste. But if I had a hotel room, I probably could have took the food to go and put it in the refrigerator and save it for another meal, And I usually don't even do that. I usually, eat all my food at the restaurant. But if it's extra plenty, which is rare, then I had a hotel, then, I probably would, put it in the refrigerator and then warm it up for another meal or so. I felt terrible. Hi.
How you doing?
I'm fine. So, excuse me. But yeah, so when I told her, all I have is, my debit card, since I gave her all the change and all the cash earlier, but then she was about to charge me 27 cents on the debit card, but then later she said, don't worry about it, and then she took money out the tip jar or whatever. I'm like, okay, well, fine, I'll just, maybe next time if you accept it. I thought in my head, if she accepted, okay, I'll try to remember to see if give you 27 cents to make up, But it's better having, like, I guess 27 cents, well, they make a big deal out of 27 cents, 25 cents plus tax or whatever, but, other places, they try to charge a whole $1 or $1.50 for a cup of water, and you're a paying customer. But, yeah, usually I have, like, my own cup with me, but I ran out of cups. But, certain restaurants be more than glad to, let you have an extra cup of water to go, And sometimes they put lemon in the water, But yeah, I feel bad that I have had to part ways with it's like certain people who I thought had been supportive subscribers had been revealing themselves as perps lately, and I had to part ways with them or block or cut them off. But they have still a few of the regulars, that's not many, that's remaining, but I think I got some new supporters. You know, but you know, the stalkers, they try to get to everybody. And yesterday and today, the stalkers were making like fake harassing inflammatory comments on my regular videos yesterday and today, you know, on multiple accounts. And they've been having these fake YouTube gang stalking agents that's, you know, been harassing me as well, like Chief Handler and Agent 1034, whatever your doggone name, or 1043, whatever your name is, or whatever. I had to block them, you know. And the fake aquarium doors perp and the other perps, you know, when I defend myself against being gang stalked and filmed and recorded, they flip the narrative and falsely lie and say that I'm the one that's stalking and harassing and attacking innocent people, when you're defending your satanic cult. You know, you're the whole devil worshiper and part of a cult. How can you condemn me for anything when you're a satanic sex trafficking criminal? Excuse me. And the fake Aquarian Doris perp has been back to stalking and harassing and attacking me for the past few days, unprovoked, and alongside the fake Angie Peterson perp and the other usuals, you know, even fake Damnesia, you know, been making fake new profiles, you know, back to attacking me directly, you know. But I've been having, ever since I think the date was Sunday, December 14th. It's been like I've been having like persistent pain on the lower right back tooth, and certain times my entire right side of my mouth would hurt, and other times it's the lower back tooth. And it's like excuse me, hurt my mouth and teeth or whatever hurting and gums hurting so bad that I can't even enjoy food. And it's really miserable. And I heard that when you're homeless, you know, people say try as best as you can to take care of your feet and teeth, because your feet and teeth will be the first to go when you're homeless. And, you know, when you're not able to perform proper hygiene from being homeless, or if you can't get to shower every day, you know, or change clothes every day, you know. But, yeah. But now, you know, I have, excuse me, I have $2.79 in the bank left over and no cash, you know. But it's like I won't be able to, you know, have any funds to eat unless it's like I have to live stream in order for people to be willing to help, you know. And one thing is like the satanic stalkers, like they had a fake perp that attacked me with an older account yesterday, account that was made in 2010, and the perp had attacked me and said that you're crazy, basically saying, oh, red beans and rice and fish for $15 and this and that for this amount, you're crazy. When I was asking for help for $12 and I said that I could get red beans and rice for like $10, well, they raised the price. I think certain places, well, one of the places I usually go to, I remember like, it probably was early 2024, I started going to that place, and the red beans and rice would be like $8.99, then they raised it to $9.99, then $10.99, and now I think the red beans and rice is $11.99. Excuse me. So, like, if they have certain dinner specials where the fish dinner might be $10.99 or $11.99 or $12.99, or a shrimp dinner or something like that, you know. And that's why I was trying to ask for help for $12, but, you know, the perp had tried to lie and say that I was asking for help for red beans and rice and fish for $15, and then called me crazy. And I didn't even say red beans and rice and fish all in one meal. You know, and then they attack me and try to manipulate for me to feel shame. And then trying to act like, oh, bitch, I'm going to humble you today. You know. Excuse me. And when the stalkers make fake harassing comments saying, no one's giving you any money, or you're not getting help, ha ha ha, and stuff. Or they'll talk about that their tarot cards are telling them that I'm not going to get any help at all until such and such amount of time or whatever. And I end up getting zero help for like 3 weeks. I mean, like, especially hotel help or whatever. But, you know, the reason why most people in the TI community are not helping the TIs that's still suffering, because the ones who are able to help, they're able to have the finances. A lot of times they're fake satanic sellout perps that flipped. You know, they flipped and became perps, you know. And the perp that attacked me about asking for funds for dinner, I went and looked on the perp's page, and they had a fake community post defending and agreeing with another person's, like a repost of defending and agreeing with another person's Bible post. I mean, scripture or Christian related post or whatever. And I'm like, well, y'all stalk, harass, and attack and, you know, do the devil's work. But then I go and click on your page, and you have YouTube content about the Christian lifestyle, holiness, salvation, discipleship, sanctification. Come on, man. This loud ass van. I hope y'all were able to hear me. Excuse me. You know, if they have another loud truck, you know. So if they have, and it looked like in the passenger side of the van, I thought I saw somebody had their arm hanging out the window. So if they excuse me, if you have you know, videos about King James Version Bible scriptures and, you know, salvation, sanctification, being equipped for the kingdom of God, and discipleship, and scripture memory, and this and that or whatever, and holiness or whatever, you know, and then you make it, and you quoting from the King James Bible, and then you know, you're making fake harassing comments, you know, stalking, harassing, and bullying people. And sometimes these are perps, and other times these can be fake TI perps doing that. You know, if you got all this Bible content, and sometimes you hashtag chosen ones. You know. And some of them hashtag gang stalking and speaking against narcissistic abuse. But then you either use that account or hide behind an alternative account to do your stalking, following, harassing, and attacking, and your fake comments, your fake cowardly comments and stuff, you know. Excuse me. Excuse me. And they show their real face and names. I meant to say, they refuse to show their real faces and names, but then demanding an answer for how much someone is, like, how come I'm the only YouTuber that's required to publicize how much I'm earning for YouTube AdSense? And the stalkers to be like, for you to it could be 19 degrees, Arctic blast, Arctic freezing. I'm wrongfully banned from the shelters and a lot of hotels. And then wrongfully banned from the cheaper hotels. And the stalkers, here's the fake loud truck again. And they got strange tail lights, fake broken tail lights. And then they're here for noise, harassment, and distraction. So for them to, so now I lost my train of thought. All right, so now, you know, I have to ask for help for, you know, and sometimes certain hotels I could get to go to depends on the timing as well. There's only one hotel that I know of that I could go to that's under $100, and most of the time under $100. Sometimes it could be over $100, but under $100 and no deposit. So one thing that upset me is now that I can no longer go to Best Western in Kenner, what used to be Comfort Suites in Airport in Kenner, after I think I am wrongfully banned, but I had not been directly told you're banned from here. But the stalkers have said, yeah, we called up and made sure you were banned from such and such place or whatever. But they did stuff to me to make me not have the desire to want to go back. Now they were charging like $119 per night plus tax, which would be like $135 when I was going there. And now that I can't go there no more, they lowered the prices to like $88.35 plus tax, or $75 or $79. Now that I'm wrongfully banned and can't go back, they lowered the price as a way to like rub it in my face. But I heard that they do this to us targets. I heard that sometimes they will show the targeted individual a price higher than everybody else. So like after I got wrongfully kicked out of and banned from all Wyndham hotels, like the La Quinta hotels, now I've been seeing they be like $51, $55 per night. But when I was going there, they would be like damn near 100. And before the incidents of being wrongfully banned from all Wyndham hotels, La Quinta hotels started to try to charge $250 for a deposit, but then like almost $100 for a regular night. And now that I'm wrongfully banned from there, it's like $55 and stuff. But, you know, but Sleep Inn Hotel was one of the hotels that they, you know, it would be about $80 or $85 per night. And they would have laundry and breakfast. And they would have laundry and breakfast. But the stalkers lied on me and I'm wrongfully banned from there for nothing. For nothing. And I kind of find out it took me months to realize that it was the fake sticky TT6 perp that came there in person to that hotel and told a lie and got me wrongfully banned. Oh, and there was a black guy in an older model Cadillac with his arm hanging out the window, illegally passing by. An older man, you know, Freemason. Freemason sex trafficker. So yeah, now my phone is saying 79 degrees, mostly cloudy. So yeah, yesterday evening, there was a bird that shat at this part of my head and on the back of my backpack. I didn't notice any bird doodle on my I didn't notice any bird doodle on my the back part of my jacket, but it got on the left sleeve of my jacket. I'm like, damn, I just got this coat. See that perps blasting loud music. So I'm like, damn, I just got this coat and had it like not even a month, and it like being ruined by bird doodle. Excuse me. In 2023, I didn't know what that was, that substance on my backpack, and I thought that it was blood or something like that, but I didn't know that was bird doodle on my backpack. You know, because I thought birds doodle white, and sometimes it could look a little greenish and black, but I didn't know that it could be like brown. You know, it was brown bird doodle, and now I feel so dirty. Excuse me, I feel so dirty. They probably planted the bird to shit on my head on purpose. But I had to use the rubbing alcohol and the wipes to try to, as best as I could, to try to, you know, wipe it off my head. Like, it was all right here. Excuse me. And it got on my brand new freaking jacket. The backpack I don't care about because Melly freaking gave it to me. You know. But I didn't know until later that the bird doodle got on the my backpack. Excuse me. She gave me the backpack and the duffel bag or whatever. Looked like a baby diaper bag. But you doing the devil's work. But you gave me a bag that said "Pray more, worry less," or something like that. And you know, when she pretend to use like fake prayer emojis, this the same. How many times you gonna circle back? This is like the third time. This is the third time. And they got strange tail lights. And they got fake perps across the street right there, pretending to fake monitor me. See when they come out, you know. So, but yeah, how come the stalkers demand to know how much I earn via, you know, YouTube AdSense, and which is, I don't get a lot. And then, you know, excuse me, they demand to know what I get for YouTube AdSense and try to figure out. But then they don't tell people how much they don't tell people how much they wrongfully get, that they undeservingly get for stalking, harassing, and torturing people and ruining innocent lives and trafficking people. They don't tell what incentives they get. They don't tell how much they on the gift cards that they get, or how much the free vehicle they're illegally driving around in, or who's paying their bills, who's, you know, because if they weren't stalking and harassing, they might be struggling to have a meal to eat too. And then for people to be disgusting enough to defend gang stalking and say that they got to do what they got to do to feed their families. You're defending crimes and saying that they got to do what they got to do to feed their families. They got to eat too. Well, I got to eat too. How come I can't eat? I'm not allowed. I get shunned for being hungry. So, but then people, the stalker demand, like, they do like my family, demand an answer for my personal business, and then talk about, oh, you tell all your business. Excuse me. So for the stalkers to justify and rationalize stalking and attacking me and lie and say, you put all your business out there. No, you be hunting and searching for all my business. You're trying to demand an answer for shit that ain't your business. You're being a busybody in other people's matters. And your mouth should be stopped. Your hands should be stopped. Your feet should be stopped. Your body should, and your mind, and everything should be stopped. Excuse me, But I've been seeing an increase of subscribers, but less support and less help. But the fruits of my labor, me reaping the fruits of my labor, I can't enjoy them because I have to be forced to pay for fake criminal charges for crimes I did not commit. From being illegally swatted and lied on. I cannot enjoy the fruits of my labor and get to treat myself. And then, excuse me, the stalkers always try to criminalize and they got like a micro comment for my every thought, move, breath, and deed. That they got something hypercritical or microcritical. They try to micro-criticize every doggone thing, everything. And they're not God. But then, as I said, you condemning me saying, oh, you're wrong for asking for help for dinner to eat every night. But then behind closed doors, you're condemning me, but behind closed doors, you're sending me pictures of dogs performing oral sex on women, or people having sex with horses, or women with penises. And that's the type you stalkers, y'all are sick. But you pretend to be righteous and pretend that I'm the bad one. And I'm sorry for whoever I offended, but this is the type of stuff that they be sending me through email. Or women eating shit and getting off sexually with it. They are sexually perverted, filthy, and disgusting. But y'all want the world to hate me while y'all think y'all are worthy to deserve praise and elevation. And these stalkers, they are sick beyond comprehension. And it's always something sexual with them. And then they get mad and defensive when I refer to them as satanic sex traffickers and cult criminals. When you criminalize me trying to survive, when y'all have robbed me of everything and stripped everything from me, where the only possessions I have is the clothes on my back and 2 bags worth of stuff. You stole my other bag. So why do I owe a bunch of nobodies an answer for how much I get on YouTube AdSense? If other YouTube content creators if they're not obligated to reveal how much they earn, then I shouldn't have to either. And then if I do reveal, people will say, oh, you're setting yourself up, or you deserve to get robbed. Hi. No, he walked out of here looking at me like I was really crazy. You know. But one thing, the stalkers, fake Angie, and the other stalkers, they lie and say that I get $960 a month from Social Security for SSI. No, I don't. I get way less than that. Excuse me. And they recently raised the Social Security checks. You know, as I said, they take out for Medicare Part B. And they lied and said that once the Social Security's information is straightened out, then they would give me back pay and I would end up getting my money back. They're still taking money out of my Social Security checks for fake Medicare Part B. And they didn't used to do that before, you know. Excuse me. Another fake perp with his arm hanging out the window. And he's about to come follow me to the library. The perp in this silver truck. Or is it white? They got gang stalking satanic fake criminals illegally following me to the library. They're trying to come here. So, yeah, the stalkers, one thing they like to do to us targets, they like to destroy our income, destroy our finances, and leave us chronically destitute. And then they make life more expensive for us. And so many people are laughing at me about the fake criminal charges I have to fight. And the fake fines that I'm forced to have to pay. And people talk to me and society wants to punish me like as if I am guilty before hearing the truth. And then they say, then they try to tell me that they don't want to hear it and I should go tell somebody else because they say, I'm not buying it. Well, you're not any authority over me anyway. I don't owe you anything anyway. You know? Yeah, this guy's a rude perp. Think he too good to say hello to somebody. You know. But yeah, like, the stalkers, they have a plan to destroy every bit of my finances, even if they got to lie to get me destroyed. So, well, the SSI was just $24, but they suspended. The guy was rude. Oh, he got one tail light. He got one tail light anyway. Strange tail lights. No wonder he was acting weird. Illegally driving with one tail light. And they have the old man crippled in a wheelchair across the street that's like spying on and watching me. He had another I guess, family member out with him a few minutes ago. So at least half of the week next week, the libraries will be closed. So like, I think it would be like December 24th, 25th, and 26th. The library is supposed to be closed. So if I go to a coffee shop, I would end up getting wrongfully kicked out and banned. So I wouldn't know where to go, you know. I don't know where I could go to, you know, get to have a place to use the bathroom. So well, what I guess I would have to do is, you know, I can't even get help. Come on, idiots. So it's like I would have to like take the YouTube AdSense payment and pay like the minimum payment for the fake criminal charges, and then use the rest of the payment and pay it with the January Social Security check. And then I have another fake court date, January 21st, and I don't know what's going to be the outcome or what's going to happen. All from being illegally swatted and lied on because you hate me and want me murdered. You want me to die. And it's like most people are against me and would rather side with the satanic cult, defend and agree with the satanic cult. Like, it's hard to find people that's in my corner. It's very hard to find people in my corner that's legit and genuine. You know, it's a very small amount of people. And then over time, sometimes they end up turning against me too. But I'm glad I was able to get me some rest, you know. Even though I think my sleep was spotty again, but I'm glad I was able to get some rest. And you know, but yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do. Pay the minimum payment for the with the YouTube AdSense payment, and then after that, you know, after paying the minimum payment, then with the January check, pay off everything else. And I shouldn't have to pay for crimes I did not commit. But and this is one of the gang stalking tactics to drain you financially. And you're forced to have to depend on others, you know. So if your stalkers would not have illegally swatted me and they were trying to make me pay $500 and put that criminal charge on me, talking about me resisting arrest for a crime I didn't commit, you know. And so when the stalkers, like as I said, you know, when sometimes when I get help with a hotel room, sometimes the supporter subscribers, you know, if they say, you know, if they donate me money for the hotel, and they say, all right, why don't you go to the hotel and get you some rest now? I'll be like, okay. And then the stalkers be like, oh yeah, as soon as she get her money, then she gets off live. Or, you know, but they have times when if I need help with funds for dinner or something, and then when I get the funds, I have to go right away to go and get me something to eat because it'd be kind of late. And then the restaurants might close at a certain time, and I might need a certain time to charge my phone, and it's like everybody ignores another purple arm out the window. This black truck. It makes me feel triggered and upset. So it's like, and then, excuse me, for me to be on the streets for 8 days straight, and then finally go to a hotel, all this pressure on my heart and everything, and me trying to rest and everything, and then the stalkers attack me and trying to falsely make it like Candy's, she's lazy, she's laying in bed all day. Well, I've been deprived from a bed for 8 nights. And then finally get a hotel room, heavy pressure on my heart, legs swelling, and feeling extremely fatigued and sleep deprived. And then, so sometimes, if I go to a hotel and then don't tell anybody anything, and then wake up the next morning with flooding fake harassing comments with fake new profiles of them revealing the name and the address of the hotel that I'm at, and then and they'll say stuff like police are on their way, and I did nothing wrong. And it's like, how did you even find out where I was at? They somehow illegally tracking my every move, and narcissistic control freak, fake TI perps, and regular perps are victim blaming me. Excuse me. Excuse me. For a man that I'm not married to, or a woman that's married to a man, to keep tabs on my every move. Y'all sex traffickers. Because y'all are sex traffickers, this is the reason why y'all do this. And then they admit that they stalk and harass and say, we're never going to stop, Candy, until we put you to an end. But if I wasn't asking for any help, they would find other things to attack and harass me about. Endless and non-stop. But the stalking cult, have put me in a predicament where I'm forced to have to beg and ask for money for food, hotel, and this and that to survive, because I don't know of any other way, given my situation, my lack of support, no family, and my disabilities and hypersensitivities and everything. I don't know what else I could do. And for me to get criminalized for trying to be as comfortable as possible in uncomfortable, torturous situations. I mean, they want me to be totally stripped and deprived of everything in a total kind of prison. Undeserved. I did, and a lot of us targets, I'll say none of us targets did anything to deserve this. Excuse me. See that force fart in me. So, and the stalkers be like, yeah, as soon as Candy gets her money, she gets her hotel room, and you don't see her until the money runs out. Well, I'm actually getting my rest, but they want to try to revolve everything around sex and money, and trying to control people because they're abusive and narcissistic, and they delusionally believe that they are pimps. That's why they're satanic sex traffickers. Excuse me. And they want to try to bully someone to join a world of evil and darkness and Satanism. If I can live someplace as peaceful as across the street from right here, and the neighbors leave me alone, and if I was on like Section 8 or whatever, I probably wouldn't need to ask nobody for no help. But they harass you and bully and attack you out of your home and force you to be on the streets. They do this to us targets. And they try to, and I heard that this goes back to, they said Stasi, set something, just Stapo and all that, and they had the fake agents that play both sides. It seemed like they got more fakes that play both sides than us real targets really suffering. And then us real targets really suffering, how do they have more trust of the popular fakes in the TI community than they have of other real targets suffering? It's like they don't trust other real targets suffering. And then they get mad and call another fellow real TI a perp. And then the fakes call you fake and make like they don't trust you. But then they're the ones without evidence and sit behind their desk in a red or in their nice luxury Tesla in a red shirt, while they got their fake GoFundMe pretending to be targeted, and nobody's attacking. They got a high amount of donations for their GoFundMe, but then they hypocritically attack the poor people who have nothing and call us scammers and frauds. Like, you driving around in a Tesla and you live in you own a condo, a paid off condo, and you have a paid off Tesla. And you got 2 cars, or maybe 3, and you brag about your 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom house, that you be like, come to my house. But you're trying to target and you're trying to traffic people. They take, when a real target has nothing, a fake target will pretend that they got a lot of money and they got a lot to dispose. They will try to lure you to their house out of state and try to trap you. Like this fake TI perp in Pensacola, she was part of living in Gulf Breeze, and she tried to trap me and lock me up. She held me hostage and locked me up in her RV for 2 hours, and it was pouring rain. She tried to trap me in her RV, and she was a narcissistic control freak fake TI perp. I don't know if her real name was Tanya White or Judy or whatever her freaking name was. Excuse me. And she had all these Bible scriptures posted all around her RV and told fake stories about being targeted, and then all her stories were lies. And all her videos was her sitting behind a desk. And she was highly narcissistic and abusive, narcissistic, hard and mean and exploitative. So you being targeted, you can't even trust anyone locally that act like, they want to offer you a place to stay. They will traffic and exploit you. And the stalkers if I would have tried to raise funds for enough money for a camper or RV, the stalkers will put it to a stop like they've done before. They feel threatened by the target having any independence and self-sufficiency, but then when you're forced to have to be dependent and at the bottom, then so that they can kick you down and look down on you and mock and laugh at your suffering and think you deserve suffering and you're a horrible person. But remember, they participate in satanic ritual abuse. But I'm gonna get off here for now. Yeah. Excuse me. I mean, I don't even know if I will live stream or not, but I mean, if I don't get help within the next few hours of if I don't get help within the next couple of hours or next few hours, I might have to eat late or probably not get to eat at all. But yeah, they got this guy that keep walking in and out the library, repeatedly. I don't know if he's trying to eavesdrop, but I'm gonna get off here. I don't know if I'm a live stream tonight. I mean, earlier tonight in order to try to get help. But, excuse me, if not, then I'm a, excuse me, you know, I don't know if I might try to live stream later this evening to try to ask for help for funds for at least dinner tonight. And a hotel would be nice because the birds shit on my forehead. I mean, you know, on the top of my hair and everything. But I love y'all, and I'm going to talk to y'all later. I don't know what I'm going to do tonight. But later tonight, I definitely will live stream. Like after 10:30, 11, I definitely will. But before then, I might try to see if I can live stream before then. But until then, I love y'all. I'm getting off here.